All right, we are back for back. The time is 2:08. So thankfully I'll have a break from those early morning lifts. Thank God. Like, it's only 2 or 3 days at a time between like my breaks. But I'm telling you, that it kills you. Like, waking up super early, going to bed super early, it just like super draining, man. This shit is hard. I'm not one to complain or anything, but like, if you can avoid working a 12-hour shift, I think that might be ideal. Oh my God. But that's okay. Because we get to enjoy days like today. So, got plenty of rest. I am super hydrated and I am carved up. Well, as carved up as I can be, right? Now I think on my last back day, a majority of the workout was just those, heavy cable rows, like the high cable rows. And that shit felt great. So I think we're going to be doing a little more of the same today. Plus, it's really nice for the ego, slapping on a 25-pound plate onto the full stack. That's a really nice feeling. So, looking forward to that. But yeah, nothing too eventful. I don't know if the gym's going to be very busy today. Find out when we get there. But the nice topic of conversation. Well, really, this is just going to be me ranting. I mean, pretty much every fucking video is that at this point. But I don't know. I keep seeing a lot of like content posted on like TikTok and shit where it's like a 16-year-old and, you know, he's showing his physique in the first photo. He's like, this is me before I hopped on gear. 155, very low body fat percentage. Like, you know, they're fine. And then the next photo is a year later, after taking gear. And sometimes I think they're just like troll posts because there's like no fucking difference. That or like they have put on some muscle mass and vascularity, but like you don't look at them and you're like, whoa, wow, that gear did wonders. You can get the same results naturally. Now, I'm not like a gear hater. Like I'm not the type of guy that says like, oh, you take gear, okay, like, you know, then your progress doesn't count. Because that's not the fucking case. If you take gear, any type of cycle, it rewards good behavior. It's like, adding salt to an already good meal, right? If you prepped your ingredients well and you know how to cook, then it's just going to taste better. All right. As opposed to if you suck at cooking and all the ingredients are terrible and you don't know how to like properly sear your steak and then you throw salt on top of it, it's still going to taste like shit. That might be the best metaphor I've ever come up with. But gear rewards good habits. If you're already on point with your like discipline, work out every day, like you have a really good split, you figured out intensity, you know what you're doing, your diet's perfect, you get plenty of rest, then you'll do well. But if you haven't figured that shit out yet, you should definitely not take gear. And especially if your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed yet, you're just gonna fuck yourself up. I mean, I feel like it hurts my heart when I see these younger kids taking gear because, I mean, they see all these influencers and they're all blasting gear and they look fucking phenomenal. Oh man. And some of them will be like, yeah, the reason that I have big shoulders it's because I take steroids. Like, that is not the message that you should be putting out, especially when you have a big crowd of people, like a big group of younger guys following your content. But I mean, you can do whatever you want with your platform, but that's just kind of, that's one of the gripes I have. It's just kind of heartbreaking, especially the ones that are like sponsored by whatever companies put out these SARMs. It's just depressing. I'm natural, if that's not fucking obvious to me. I'm big, but I still have a lot of body. Like, I don't look that impressive. But I am not at the point in my lifting journey to justify taking any type of gear. Like, I wouldn't consider taking anything until I have cut down to like 120% body fat and then did another bulk. And, it's different for each person in terms of like if they should and when they should. I don't think you should be taking gear if you're not like competing or anything. But again, that's just my opinion. And with that, there is no fucking reason you should be taking gear if you're not at your like tip top shape, natural. I want to see how far I can go naturally. And even when I get to that point, however many years down the line that'll take me, even still, I don't know if I'd consider taking gear because currently there's no reason for me to do it. I don't have any plans to compete or anything. I'm not doing all this lifting so that I can compete. That's just kind of like a nice little bonus if I do get to, or not if, when I get to where I want to get to. But yeah, with that being said, if you do still consider, like, if you're still gonna do it, at least make sure you're doing it right. Do plenty of research, figure out what a good starting cycle would be. Get one of those testing kits. You can order them on Amazon to make sure that whatever you are getting is clean, because the worst thing that you can do for yourself is get shitty testosterone or shitty tren and pretty much kill yourself. But I'm no expert in this field, so really I'm just voicing my own opinions here. But with all that being said, it's not going to deter me. It's not going to occupy my mind, because the only thing on my mind right now is my own lift. Lately, I've kind of been thinking about my cut. Like, well, obviously I'm thinking about my cut every day, considering that I'm doing it every day. But one thing that I've kind of noticed is that, like, technically speaking, I am eating at a deficit compared to what my maintenance calories are. But if you have been watching, you'll know that, like, I've kind of been at a plateau. I've been plateaued around 225 for a while. And one thing I've kind of noticed is that, I don't know, I think I'm cutting properly, but also I'm not like hungry all the time. I've never really had a big appetite. The only reason I got fat is because I just like to eat, especially like sweets. But like, I'm just not hungry all the time. And I don't think you're cutting very well if you're not like hungry a majority of the day. And that's kind of my problem. So I still don't know what direction I want to go with it, because I could do some like intermittent fasting, and that would guarantee that I am going to be hungry for a good part of the day. I could do that. I could maybe limit my macros even more than I already have. I don't know. I'm still not very sure. For the last like week or so, I've just been making it a point that, like, when I get hungry, when I start feeling the hunger pangs, I kind of let myself sit in that position for a while. So I think that's probably going to progress into like some sort of intermittent fasting. And the way that I think I'll do it is the days that I'm not working, uh, wake up, drink plenty of water, have my like pre-workout meal, lift, and then fast until like later in the night, and then have a bigger meal before bed. Uh, I think that would put me in a pretty good position. So I might try that out for like 2 or 3 weeks, average out my like weight on the scale and see what happens. But, with all that being said, I have noticed differences in terms of like my body fat. I was posing yesterday for chest, and while I was posing, like for a majority of my life, my, my man titties will kind of like hide a lot of my lats, when I'm posing. But yesterday when I was doing like a front double bi, or I'm sorry, I was doing a side chest, I noticed that the lats were sticking out. They were overtaking my like chest. So that's kind of one of those signs of like, okay, maybe I am doing things, but we'll see. To be determined. But I'm pulling into the gym right now. Doesn't look terribly busy, so I will see you guys when I'm in there. Ooh, holy cow. My friends, that was a phenomenal back day for multiple reasons. Uh, of course, number one, the pump was great. I sprouted wings wide enough to, attract a falcon. So, pump was great. I was really strong today. Uh, I was able to do some heavy weight, uh, stack and a 45 for those, like weighted rows. Felt fucking great. Uh, it was so heavy that like it started dragging the bench that I was sitting on. So I had to get another 45-pound plate and just put it in front of the bench so that I don't slide into the rack itself. So that was fucking great. Uh, and then, so I guess to recap what I did, cause you guys didn't really get to see any of it. We did 3 sets of those heavy rows, cable rows, uh, 2 sets of that plate loaded lat pull down, just cause it was feeling really good. And then 2 sets of heavy cable pullovers. And then I just did a bunch of rear delt work. It felt fucking great. Afterward, I was in the posing room. And there's this older guy, and I run into him a good bit in the afternoons when I go. And he's always in there stretching and stuff. And so I said like, hey, how you doing, buddy? Do you mind if I adjust the light in here for a minute? He's like, of course. And so I started posing, just checking out the pump. And he asks me, he's like, you got a competition coming up? And I was like, no, man, do I look competition ready? He's like, yeah. I was like, no, no way. I am nowhere close. But, we just started talking about it and stuff. And he's just saying a bunch of nice things, asking me what my goals are. It was really nice. So that definitely stroked the ego a good bit. But it also tells me that I'm doing something right. So that was fucking great. I got to see a lot of the fellas. So, I mean, shit. I could not ask for more. What the fuck are you doing? You crazy? I just got cut off. What the fuck? Anyways, Jesus, I think this happens every single time I record a video. I get into some sort of altercation. Shit, what was I saying? I don't know. I couldn't ask for more. Today was a phenomenal back day. Like, everything was just perfect. Well, the pre-workout. You've already heard my spiel about the pre-workout. That could have changed. But outside of that, we were great. So, the workout didn't really take me that long. I think I got to the gym around 3. No, I got there around like 2:30. And like keeping in mind that I showered and talked to the fellas for a bit. It's like 4 o'clock now. The workout really only took me like an hour tops. Uh, so pretty fucking great. Uh, but now I'm gonna head home. I got some food waiting for me. Uh, then I just get to spend the rest of the day with my girlfriend. Get to relax. It'll be nice. It'll be really good. That's one of my favorite things about the gym, outside of like actually lifting. Once you're done and you don't really have any obligations afterward, man, it's just great because you get to relax. You really get to enjoy whatever it is you're doing because you know you had a fucking great, you had a great lift. Everything just feels better. So, yeah, man. I don't really have too much else left to say. New season of Apex came out on Tuesday. So for those of you, the legends out there, it's time to start grinding. I got lucky enough to get the new Caustic skin from the event. So for this season, I'm going to be a Caustic main. Pray for me. Still haven't gotten a damage badge on him. I just haven't been having very good luck in any of my matches. But I'm sure that'll happen. So don't worry, you guys will hear about it. But we got Arms tomorrow, and if Arms is anything like today's back day was, we are going to be very happy. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for that.